So this is my wet palette from Army Painter. It's about A5 in size. Now the main advantage of wet palettes is that they stop your paints from drying out, allow you to conserve your paint essentially. You get more paint out of your pot. So that's a top fantastic thing. Now the wet palette is made of 3 parts. This is like a waxed piece of paper. So I've used this one. I've got a fresh one here. You can see it's just very thin wax paper. And then the foam sheet should be white and lays on top of the container, which you fill with water. So now, one thing you should really note, whatever you do, do not paint on the foam sheet, because this is what happens. Now, this is what happened to me the first time I used a wet palette. I had no idea what I was doing, so I just painted all over it. So don't do that. The other thing you should not do not clean the base with acetone, because acetone will melt the plastic and give you this horrible grainy texture. So there's 2 tips for you straight away. So now we're going to place the white sheet back on the wet palette, and we're going to take a little bit of red paint, any kind of red paint. Well, this is my fist on red. And we're just going to put a little blob here. Now, and maybe just a tiny bit of water dipped from the edge of the brush, so that we get a blob of paint of fine consistency, which is exactly what we want for edge highlighting. So we want to put a thin layer of paint on the edges of our model. So run the edge of the brush perpendicular to the edge you want to catch. Now, don't forget, thin paints, even though they may appear more brighter when you apply them, will dry a little bit less bright. And with thin paints like this, it's a matter of just being patient and layering up the different areas. So next we're just going to add a little bit of white, blob of white, and we can mix the 2 together on the wet palette to get a highlight tone, which will just touch on the tips and points of edges to further emphasize the corners of the miniature. Please like and subscribe for more tips and tricks, or check us out at brushmancy.com.